Hello, and welcome to the Vlogging Pod. Before we get into what this administration just approved in Idaho, let's talk about who Qatar is. Qatar is a small but very wealthy country in the Middle East. It's led by a royal family that's been in power for generations. And most of the country's money comes from natural gas. Even though it's small, it has a major influence because of what wealth and because of it often acts as a go-between for the other nations in conflict. Qatar also runs a well-known global news outlet that gives it a strong voice internationally. Now, here's where things get interesting. On October 10th, 2025, Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth announced that the United States had signed an agreement with Qatar to build a military facility at Mount Holm Air Base in Idaho. The site would host Qatari fighter jets and pilots for joint training with U.S. forces. This move reverses the usual setup because for decades it's been the U.S. that bases troops in Qatar, not the other way around. So, what does this mean? According to the Pentagon, it's about a partnership and strengthening alliances. But critics are asking tough questions about national security oversight and what it really means to have another country's military operating on American soil. The truth is, while allies often train together, it's rare for a foreign nation outside of NATO to build its own facility in the U.S. That's what makes this a big deal right off the bat, and one that should come with clear details about who's in charge, who pays for it, and how USA law applies. Another concern is transparency. The agreement was called a letter of acceptance, not a treaty, which means it hasn't gone through full congressional review. That leaves open questions about costs, command structure, and long-term control. There's also the issue of influence. Qatar has spent millions improving the U.S. base it already hosts in the Middle East and recently pledged another $10 billion in expansion. It also investing heavily inside the U.S. economy. Those ties can strengthen diplomacy, but they can also raise red flags about potential conflicts of interest if government officials are making these deals while courting investments. Finally, this decision touches national security. Earlier this year, Iran targeted U.S. assets in Qatar, reminding everyone that the region remains tense. If Qatar's aircraft are now stationed in Idaho, that connection brings new questions about risk and protection on U.S. soil. If this administration wants to build trust, it should release the full details of the deal. Let Congress and the public review it and guarantee that local communities have a say before construction begins. Oversight isn't opposition. It's how we protect both our allies and our own people. Today's sources come from new Qatar Air Force facility to be built in Idaho. Hegseth announces time. Hegseth announces Qatar will build Air Force facility at U.S. base in Idaho. CBS News. Hegseth announces new Qatar Air Force facility in Idaho. Fox News. U.S. security cooperation with Qatar. U.S. State Department. A look at Ali Anud Air Base. Associated Press. Ali Anud, Iran attacks nerve center of U.S. air power in Gulf. Financial Times. Qatar will invest $10 billion in Ali Anud Air Base, Trump says, Reuters. And Trump orders pledge that U.S. will defend Qatar in even event of attack, Reuters. Thank you for listening. Until next time, bye-bye for now.